Shalom, enlightened ones. Today we will be interviewing Storm Cordell Purnell, a father of 11 children and one on the way, and that will make it 12 children. So we will be interviewing him about his life. Shalom, Storm.
Shalom, enlightened ones.
So you have 11 children and one on the way.
That's correct.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel great. I feel it's an honor that God chose me to be the guardian of not only 11 children and one on the way, but the guardian to my wife. You know, is an important duty, and it's probably one of the greatest tasks, you know, in life altogether. And I'm just very thankful, very humbled by it, and I'm excited about everyone's future. So the man I am today is all because of the charge and the anointing that God has given me, and the responsibility, because I don't think I'll be anywhere without the responsibility that's been committed to me.
Awesome. So, did you plan on having this many children?
So it has been said, when I was younger, I said I would have 10 kids and a whole lot of kids, but that really stems from my childhood. Like, I grew up without a dad, and I never wanted any child to feel the way I felt growing up without a dad. So I was always there for children and being around them, teaching them everything that I knew and things like that, especially the fatherless. I got a heart for the fatherless. And, you know, when I had my first son, you know what I mean, I was very, very excited, but I still had that heart for the people. So, I mean, it's an amazing thing. I think God has something special for people who grew up without a father. He fills that void. Where we are weak, he is strongest.
What would you say is the most fulfilling part for you in being a father?
The most fulfilling part is just being able to conversate with my children. You know, seeing something that came from me, and being able to communicate with that thing. And I say thing as in, like, you know, a person, but it's a thing first. You know what I'm saying? It's like a thing first. Like, I don't know this person. I have to get to know this person, and this person has to get to know me. So I have to present myself to this person, to this person or child. I'm a thing. You know what I mean? And whatever I portray to this child, you know, that's the idea that the child will most likely have.
Well, we know that there are many people out here that don't, the same as you, wasn't raised by a dad or a father. What would you say was challenging for you with not having that example in your life? And this will be a two-part question. And what advice would you give people that what advice would you give men that didn't have that father figure raising children?
Okay. First, the first question was, what was it like?
Yeah, was it difficult for
Was it
you?
difficult for me
And how did
growing
you
up?
feel? Yeah, how did you feel?
So, growing up, I grew up with my mom. I'm one of seven, and single mom. Guys came in and out, you know, but no one ever really stayed. You know, whose fault doesn't matter, but it's our responsibility to take charge and make our life right. So the challenges that I face is like, you know, going to school, knowing what it was like to be a man. You know, I didn't know which way to go. I would dress up like a girl, you know, trying to be like my mom. I would wear my grandmother's high heels, I would do a lot of things that the girls did because I had a lot of sisters. The oldest is my sister, and I looked up to her a lot, and um, I got called plenty names. That was a lot of the challenges, that I was gay, that I was a faggot, and things like that. So I was kind of like peer pressured into being like a womanizer. You know what I mean? Just to try to validate who I was, that I was a man. You know, and all the male role models, this is what they taught me, how to be like this with women. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big challenge for me. So to talk about just one challenge for me is like, taking advantage of women and stuff like that, and not knowing how to carry myself and following women, because men, it was no men around that really acted like what the true man is supposed to be that I know today. You know what I mean? So that was my big challenge. And the second part was, what advice would I have for somebody in my same position that grew up in the same way? Um,
Or that about to have children or have children are still trying to figure it out, how to be a father.
okay, dear younger me, or dear me that's older, uh, don't give not your strength to women. You know what I mean? Like Proverbs 31 says, um, look to the Lord, for He is your Father. He called you from before you were formed in your mother's womb. He said He knew you. He gave you a purpose. He said the plans that He has for you is plans of good and not of evil. I wish that I could have said this, but I don't have to wish, because everybody who would listen to this, I have that second chance. I can do it all over again. And just want to encourage you that God gave the perfect example through Christ, the perfect example through Christ on how to live a righteous life, and that's a true man. You know what I mean? And that covers, raising men, raising young ladies, being a father. It covers it all. The Bible became my best friend. When the Lord found me, when I answered the call. So that's a word of encouragement, and I'm still on the journey, and this everything this channel is about. So I thank you guys for even giving a listening ear, because it's really therapy for me. And any question that you will ever have, you can always ask me, and I know that I will be able to help you get to where you're going, because I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, and I know the word, and I'm a brother, just like you, and I have a wife whom I love. So even sisters, you can talk to me as well, and my wife is always by my side. So yeah.
So my next question is, would you say, for you, is it hard raising children? And if it is, what makes it easy? And if it's easy, what makes it easy? And if it's hard, what makes it hard raising
Okay.
these many children?
Okay. It's not hard. Uh, it's not hard raising many children. It didn't matter the number. I look at it like this. Just like I can go to a job and be a supervisor over many people, the only thing is a time change. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be a good steward. You have to manage your time well. Time management skills is very essential for this job, because this is a full-time job. You know what I mean? If you have a 9 to 5, you have two jobs. It's being a father and your 9 to 5, whatever you may do. You know what I mean? So I say it's not hard, and yeah.
That's a good answer. And now, my final question would be, how would you say it is raising these many children and supporting a wife, and with you're bringing, like, you're the only source of income?
Wow. Jehovah Jireh, my provider. God provides. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. And I'm not just quoting scripture. This is real in my life. I've been married for 13 years. My oldest son is 13 years old. You know what I mean? And God has been faithful every time. Anything that he allows to come into this world, he will bless. You know what I mean? If you look to him, the author of life and the finisher of our faith, like every time he always amazes me. He never ceases to make me give him glory, you know, to prove himself. And that's what he wants to do. But we have to know his word. We have to know who he is and have that relationship with him, knowing that we can do nothing without him. So I look to him and I depend on him, and he never lets me down. David said, I once was young and now I'm old, and in all my days I never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed to beg for bread. So I'm just glad about it. And you know, God proves himself to me all the time, every time, even 11 times over, and he's going to prove it this 12th time, you know what I mean? And I'm grateful for it. So be encouraged.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all your answers and your advice. And we shall see you soon in the next video.
Shalom.
Shalom.